All right, hello everyone, and this is what I've decided to do. So I'm going to go over a few points that came to my mind. I had a thought about how I should sort of present this 3 year sort of review of what I've done in Forex. So I'm just going to sip this quickly. And what I sort of did, I just opened up the Word document and I went through what I've sort of found has helped me. And obviously, I didn't connect my FX book to my first live account. My first live account was a $500 Pepperstone account. And I wanted to go through all that, but I just felt that it'd be best if I just went through what I've sort of learned. So I would sort of call myself a novice retail Forex trader. And obviously you've seen on my results, this year has been my first proper dedicated one system live trading that I've done. Last year was all demo, and then 2016 was some live trading till about mid 2016, but none of it was really. It was all following other people's stuff. So I would just see someone's trade idea, I would take it, and it was not. I really need to reiterate that that is not the way to do things. That is really, really not the way to do things. So we'll just go through. I think I've got 13 dot points. Yeah, 13 dot points we'll go over, and it shouldn't take too long. But again, this is stuff that has really helped me. And I'm not a full-time trader or anything. I'm actually contracted to Star Beta. It's a proprietary trading firm in Sydney. They trade the Bitcoin future contracts and Ethereum future contracts on BitMEX. So I've got some time off next year. I'll be going over there. Probably be a wild ride, but we'll see what happens there. So I am, I do have that. That's obviously proprietary trading, so it's not a salary. But anyway, so that's the background that I've sort of got so far and what I've done. And let's go through the dot points. All right, so number one. So this is what I've accumulated from the 3 years. It's been just over 3 years now. So that's including learning. It's not trading. So 2015 to early 2016, I wasn't actually trading. So the very first thing, now this is not necessarily in order, but this is very important. So understand yourself and what works for you. So what I mean by that is certain personalities are going to be better at, short-term scalping, and other people are going to be better at swing trading. Now, I would certainly recommend, unless you're an individual who can sort of be a fighter pilot, you'll naturally be good at scalping. But how many fighter pilots are there? There's not many, because there's so much going on, and you can be so fast. Because I've been trying a little bit, just on a demo account, try and do it for a day off type style system, and it's very difficult. So you need to really understand. Obviously, you're open to manipulation, which occurs. You're very vulnerable because your stops are so tight. So it's just a game where it's just you're on a tightrope. With swing trading, what I do, I will trade the hourlies for an entry, but I look at 4 hour and the dailies. So just understand yourself first. Some people naturally will like a little more activity, and they want things to be open and closed in the same day. So if you find yourself just naturally wanting that, but be open-minded as well. So just, sort of follow that path though. Don't sort of force something that's completely unnatural to you, because you'll find that will be a real struggle to you. So yeah, for me it is a swing trading. I'm actually even thinking about doing some options stuff. Because I tried to day trade stocks in the US, and that honestly, it's not for me. It's just, it's real. It's like driving through a minefield. It's just, well, it was too much. Anyway, so don't follow signals. Now, this could really be number one. So what I mean by that, when I first started, I met a gentleman at the gym I train at in Perth. He's the brother of James Kensington. James Kensington is, a very good trend trader. And he told me about Walter Peters. And if you don't know Walter Peters, he's got a lot of YouTube videos. So I was introduced to the forum that Walter has. I think it's filled now. I'm no longer in the forum. So I don't want to get back into it, but it's I think it's about $150 a month. It's really good though. It's not just like a chat room. There's a lot of educational material you just can download as well. And it's not a yearly subscription. You just pay month to month, from my understanding. That's how it was with me. So really helpful. But even with him, he was saying don't follow it. Like he would post some trade ideas, but it was more to create conversation. And I was following them, and it just doesn't work because an experienced trader is going to have so many different systems to deploy because he's got all that experience. So it just doesn't work because you don't have the confidence. Because if you trade a system a lot, you sort of have expectations. You sort of know that if it goes this way, that's okay. If it goes against you in a certain manner, you're like, that's fine, And you're risking money you're happy to lose in a sense because you don't want to be attached to that. So, but if you have no idea and your risk management is poor, you're going to be very emotional. You're not going to hold the position the proper length to let the trade develop. You just have no idea what you're doing, and it's stressful. You're not learning anything. You might make a little bit of money and you'll lose money, make a little money, lose money. There's just no progression. It's just you're not learning. It's stressful. That's not what trading's about. Trading is about improving the lifestyle and learning how to sort of profit from the market. But you're not doing that with the signals. So anyway, number 3, use backtesting software to start off. Now, look, not a lot of people really talk about backtesting. It's extremely important. The reason is, so let's say you have an idea in your head, you might write something down, like it might be a trend system or something, a break of a 50 simple moving average, and what Bollinger Bands, whatever. Okay, I've got a lot of videos on my YouTube channel about me backtesting as well. So you can, and I'm not talking about just trading view. I'm talking about like Forex tester. So you get the stats, you get the win rate, profitability factors, sort of thing, all that, and then you can go, okay, that was pretty good, and you can run it across a few currency pairs over 10 years or something on a daily or a 4-hour time frame. And then you've got a collection there of statistics. It's like a science experiment nearly, where you have a hypothesis of this sounds like a good idea, and you test it and you see the efficacy of it. Then you can take it to demo trading. I would, really, really, really recommend the demo trading. And then you sort of, because once you do the demo trading, everything's exactly the same as live trading. Okay. And then you just go to live trading and it feels exactly the same. So you do not want any difference in your emotion. If that is the case, then you're risking too much money, or trading's probably not for you. If you care too much about a tiny amount of money in the market you're participating in, then your trading's probably not for you, and it's not for everyone. I don't go around recommending trading either because it's honestly it's against fundamental human nature. A lot of things that trading is about, and that's why there's not very successful traders. To be honest, a lot of people do it and they want to talk about it because they'll lose money, and then it's just the end of it. So, but yeah, it's not. So if you find yourself, it's just all too overwhelming and you're losing money, and you can't sort of take the time to do these first few things, I don't recommend. Do not do this. Do not do this. So yeah. Anyway, so number 5, don't focus on making money. Execute the trading plan. So this is a big thing. This is a really, really big thing. And I found myself falling into a little bit of a trap of this because this is the live trading that I've got going on now. And it is, there is psychological differences between the demo and the live, especially I've increased the account size a little bit to $5,000, which has been money for me. And I was like, oh, okay, like, when you see the P&L open, you're like, oh man, like, and I was having a pretty good month in November, and then I got greedy, and but in the demo trading, when I'd done that, I've been like, there's no setups, I'm just focusing on the stuff. So I'm doing more athletics training, I'm getting my mind right, because I've had months where I just sort of, you can be consumed, especially if you really love trading. You just sort of like people might watch this and be like, yeah, I understand that. And you don't really want that because, especially for me, I can be a little impulsive in regards to wanting to do something, wanting to be busy. And when there's a trade going, I'm like, it's busy, I can talk about it, I can post it on social media, and that's really not the right mindset because I took a couple of trades later in the month of November last month, and they just weren't appropriate. All right, so I'll try and get through this in less than 20 as well because I don't like to dribble on and everything like that. So number 6 is be disciplined and don't trade when your mind isn't right. So this is more to do with if you have like emotional issues with a relationship, or you got work stress. You have to understand that, I mean, trading is so mentally focused. And like, let's say you've had an argument or something, or you've had a bad day at work, and you're really trying to be a full-time trader, and you're like, F this place. I'm gonna have a really good trade to really build towards that full-time trader goal. Don't trade, because you are not gonna be seeing things clearly. Your subconscious is going to be compromised. So you really you really have to appreciate that, because I've done that, and it just, you make reckless decisions. You're not clear. I'm just going to sip this again. Pull. Oh, strong coffee. Yeah. So please understand this. Like, I'm not selling anything. Clearly, I don't make any money from the YouTube channel. It's, I'm just telling you, this is what I've learned. So you can save yourself a lot of time and avoid pain by just, not trading. When things aren't going so smoothly in your life, it will affect your trading. So, yeah. All right. When you go to live trading, start small to build your trading psychology. Now, this is very, very, very important. I'm really happy that I did this to begin with, and it was the progression from the demo to the live in 2017 to 2018 was just seamless. It was great. So adding to it a little bit more was, there's been a couple of speed bumps, but I've been putting it off. Like, I was thinking about mid-year adding next year. I'm like, there's never really a perfect time, Like, it's one of these things where you just have to be aware, because there'll be bigger positions. It won't be $5. It'll be $50 for 1%, or $100, or $200 for 2%. And you just have to just detach yourself. So that's important. All right, so we'll go to number 8. Yeah, this is really, really, really important. If you aren't feeling well, or well rested, and coherent, don't trade. Like, really. And just stay away from the phone. I remember one time, I was working nights, and I was in bed, just like wrapping up for the night, and I was just checking on the phone, and instead of checking the chart, I pressed the next one over on the MT4 mobile app, and it was the trade, and I was trying to get out of it, and I caught, market buy, and I closed that straight away. And I'm like, that's frustrating. So just, yeah, you have to think of it as, you're up against, the very best minds and algos in the world. So if you're not really with the program, just don't participate in the market, because it's very reckless. It's like going out in the ring with Mike Tyson. You have to if you consider yourself like a professional boxer, professional trader, you wouldn't do that if you're not right, because it's going badly. I mean, real badly. So, all right, number 9, stick to your system. I can't help myself. I really can't. I'm too OCD. All right, so stick to your system. It has proven itself to be profitable. So this is sort of wrapped up in not following signals too. So if you've done all the steps, you've backtested, demoed, lives, traded a small account, and you got a bigger account, you have times when statistically, and this will reflect in the backtesting, you might have a 60% win rate, 70% win rate. You're going to have a few losers in a row. And I've had that in November a little bit. Obviously, there were some not so great setups. But even if you're following the rules perfectly, a good trade doesn't necessarily have to be a winning trade. It can just not work out. And you really shouldn't beat yourself up about it. You just have to move on. Like, a real trader will be hungry for the next opportunity. So, and they'll be like, yeah, like, and obviously, you have to be open-minded in the sense that the market is always never exactly the same, because market participants are always, changing. It's a moving ecosystem. So you just got to, be willing to adapt a little bit, but, you got to stick to the rules of the system, and don't beat yourself up if you have a couple losing trades in a row and you follow the rules. That just happens. That's the name of the game. You can just be unlucky, and that's fine. It's like if you're a cab driver and someone hopped out the cab, you wouldn't, right now you'd be struggling as a cab driver. But before Uber, it was pretty profitable. You wouldn't just like, I'm giving up. You wouldn't do that. You just, or had a small business and someone stole like a tool out of your shop, you wouldn't be like, oh God, I give up, close. You're not going to do that, So just, yeah, you got to be centered in a sense where, you can't have it all your way. You're not ever going to win all the time. That's You see that though on you know, the Facebook ads, and LinkedIn with the profitability of like 90%. Like that's just crazy, really crazy. So be careful with that. Anyway, so find a community that is positive and supportive. So, I wasn't paid to say the water piece thing, but that was quite good, especially in the beginning because you'd have more experienced traders and everyone was very sharing and they wouldn't be hiding away with systems. They'd be saying like, especially if you would take a screenshot and say this is a potentially good trade, and then people would dissect it, and that's really good to learn. Where you present something, and people will say, look, this is a little bit better here, there, that sort of thing, and you get some really great feedback. So even Forex Factory, there's some free stuff. It's just there's just so much information out there. Look, honestly, and I've gone through Forex Factory and everything like that. Mark Douglas is good too. You just sort of want to, the people that have been around a bit longer and that aren't flashing cash and cars, go towards them, okay? Because the individuals that are like, you can do this, you can do that in Forex financially, they're, they're not all frauds, but they're selling a dream. They're not actually, most of them, well, they don't know what they're talking about, and it's just complete and utter garbage. And they want your money for the courses and this and that. It's all just, they're just wasting your time. They're making more money from that than they are trading. But the good traders, they don't need to show off or anything. They just do it because they love doing it. And you want to sort of surround yourself with that. Okay, that's, yeah, definitely positive support, because trading is very individual and it can get a bit overwhelming, especially if you're not going so well. It's really important to be transparent. And you might have like someone who you send screenshots to about trades. Is this good? And it's like an accountability buddy. That's important. If you can get one of those, so it doesn't have to be a massive chat group, because a massive chat group turns into a shit show. Because you got all these opinions, all this noise, and it can get toxic. It is toxic, definitely. So I'm more talking about like a couple of people who you can call and just talk about stuff, and that's good. You want that. Anyway, so number 11. I'm going to finish this now. That's another danger of being a trader. You'll probably get addicted to caffeine. Hopefully you don't, but I've found myself, maybe not full blown, but yeah, and progressively stronger coffee as well. All right, so don't force a trade when the setup isn't good. So yeah, I mean, I did that last month. So, and if you find yourself having a tendency to do that, really, you really need to be disciplined about it, because if you go down a murky area, because, for example, for me, like if the Euro Aussie sell, it was a late entry, it was a bit of FOMO, and the Swiss yen sell, which were the two last trades I did last month, they went well. They would have put me at 7% for the month, and I'd be like, ooh, and subconsciously, those two trades, I'd been like, yeah, that worked, let's do that again. And that's bad, because you're going down murky waters where it's untested systems, and it's not good. It's not good. You're not playing probabilities in your favor. You want to think about yourself as a casino, and you want to only play the setups that are in your favor. Okay, that's important. All right, number 13. This is good. This is good. I'll wrap it up after this. So track your progress and go over trades regularly. Share them on social. You don't necessarily have to share them on social media. I do, because I know I found it quite good for accountability, and I don't mind talking and things like that, and I'm okay with confidence. So, but most people wouldn't want to do that. But have a person you send stuff to keep yourself accountable. I found that very important and very helpful. That's Connor Murphy and I would do the podcast. It all started with Walter introducing us on the forum, and that's what it sort of turned into. So would I say that both of us are really great professional traders? No, and it takes time. It does. For some people, it's quicker than others as well. So if you see someone who's sort of done it quicker than you, that's good. That's good. And you might be better at things than that person is. So you've just got to appreciate that it's a process and it takes a bit of time. For me, it has taken a bit of time. I would have liked to have been a full-time trader and funded with a massive account, but I'm not quite there yet. But I'm plodding away, and I've got a few things going on, and it's open opportunities. Like the prop trading in Sydney. Obviously, it's not Forex, and it's trading Bitcoin, and we're paid in Bitcoin, so and it's not healthy right now. But yeah, so that's it, guys. That's the review on how I've gone with my 3 years in Forex. No Lambos, no mansions yet, but have I made breakthroughs? I would say so, but I'm still every day I'm still learning. So you got to appreciate that it's a moving target. Like you can't ever really be satisfied. You got to always keep wanting to learn, progress, and but I'll continue to share things, guys. And thanks to Patrick and a Mad Forex Trader as well for you guys have jumped on with the comments. I really appreciate that. And I know not many people watch the videos, but if you are watching, I hope it helps. And just understand it's not like a sprint where you're going to be a millionaire in 6 months. That's not. Some people can, but the risk is massive, and just don't do that because you'll end up blowing it all on some Vegas trip and getting arrested and going to jail because you have no worth of the money because you just so be careful out there. Okay, but anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Bye for now. Please leave a comment. Enjoy the weekend. Do some back testing. I'm about to do some. No, I won't be. I'll be doing the podcast next. There's 3 videos today. 3 videos. So there's this one, the Aussie Yen update, and the podcast with Connor as well in 20 minutes. So stay tuned for that, guys. Bye for now.